Welcome back, everybody, to the GBA channel. My name is GalacticElliot. I'm your host today, and I'll be interviewing the TheUziGunner, coach of the Bullet Punch Club. How's it going, Uzi?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm very excited for the GBA this season. Season 10, I believe it is. That's insane.
Right? The 10th freaking anniversary, and it's crazy to see, how much time has flown by since then.
Indeed, my man. So I got a few questions for you. We're going to go through them, get to know you better, for the viewers to get to know you better, what the Bullet Punch Club is all about. So yeah, are you ready?
I'm ready if you are. Let's get it.
All right, my man. So first and foremost, can you introduce yourself and your organization? What are you all about? What's good? What's up?
All right. So first things first, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is TheUziGunner, and let me tell you right now just how damn good it feels to be able to say that again, especially now that the draft format has returned. So, to anybody that is not aware of me, I am someone who has been a content creator on YouTube since 2015, and as it stands right now, I'm the only Bangladeshi Pokemon YouTuber out there. And not to mention that, ever since I started my content creation journey, a very big part of what I wanted to do was eventually compete in the GBA. And granted, that shit took 8 years, but you know what? Everything happens for a reason, and I'm glad it did, because what you're looking at right now is the absolute best damn version of yours truly you will ever see. So yeah. With all of that said, I've always wanted to compete in the GBA. I actually used to be an analyst. For 2 seasons, and a lot of hijinks happened in the time frame. But once again, everything happens for a reason, and it's why here we are right now. So yeah, and of course, as far as the Bullet Punch Club goes, to anybody that is aware of the Bullet Club, this is the inspiration behind the name, and obviously speaking, Mega Metagross is hands down one of the most badass Mega Evolutions out there. Now, granted, it doesn't exist anymore until the Scarlet Violet DLC, I believe.
It still exists.
Yeah.
Listen, it's in my heart. Mega Metagross.
Yeah.
That's the GOAT, man.
Damn straight. It is here in spirit. But yeah, that's pretty much what the Bullet Punch Club stands for. I am very excited to be here at this stage, and I'm honestly very much looking forward to seeing what I'm able to do, not just as a competitor, but especially as a content creator.
That's what's up, man. Happy to have you a part of the GBA. Super excited to see what you guys are all about.
Thank you.
My next question is, who is your assistant coach, my man?
So my assistant coach is someone who has been my friend for a very, very long time. In fact, I wouldn't even call him just a friend. He's like a brother to me. His name is MattyBrollic, and is, in my opinion, one of the absolute best draft league competitors out there, and hands down, genuinely one of the most nicest people that I've ever met in my life. Genuinely, he's been with me throughout each and every single one of these years. And to anybody that is also aware of the GBA's history, he actually used to be an analyst for the GBA at one point. And he, even during that time when we were just getting to know each other, he actually went back to me, came to bat for me during a time when some specific people didn't really want me to be a part of the organization then. So I feel like, as far as, things coming full circle, him being a part of this journey is definitely something that is very much a necessity towards me, because this isn't just my story that's being finished, it's his as well.
You guys are in this together. That's awesome. Not sure if you know this, by the way, but the GBA is the first organization to implement assistant coaches, which is pretty cool. How are you feeling about working with your assistant coach through this and getting all this stuff together?
Yeah, I honestly think it's a very interesting prospect that opens up a lot of potential in terms of content creation. And in general, I could not have chosen a better assistant coach because of the sentimental value that exists between myself and him. and also it creates a lot of potential in terms of how you're gonna team build, how you're gonna approach building your own teams, because it isn't just me that's gonna be doing this. Each and every single one of these coaches have an assistant coach as well. So I feel like with how draft format has been throughout all these years, there comes a time where change needs to come, and I feel like with the assistant coaches there is a potential to creating something very unique in terms of dynamics. So it's definitely something I'm interested in seeing how it develops, and I would assume that it won't be something as basic as just he's just the guy I'm gonna build teams with. Like if it can be extended towards contributing something, towards creating something that's unique as far as content creation goes, then it's definitely something I, as a long time consumer and player of this format, am excited to see.
Right, that's awesome, man. And what are your plans like with your assistant coach? Like, what are you guys planning to do together?
So the thing is, like, if anybody who knows me by now is going to be aware of my history in draft format, and that is the fact that I never really, went at things completely on my own. Granted, there were some specific seasons where the people who I'd usually collaborate with were not available in one of those WBE seasons, but I don't really think it's going to be that different, because usually I always have a special counsel, or would I say, or to any pro wrestling fans out there, a wise man with me, who's going to be there to collaborate with me as we are able to conceptualize how we, who we want to base our team around, what is available, what do we draft, what can we create to formulate not just a very solid and powerful team, but also something that gives people their money's worth, especially in terms of entertainment. Because I feel like right now at this point in my life, while I don't really feel while I obviously wanting to compete, do well in these seasons is obviously something that I would want, because if you're not playing to win the whole thing, what are you doing? My ultimate focus right now is to create compelling entertainment, entertaining content, and I feel like with Matty by my side, we can create something that integrates both these elements together, so that when people are gonna tune in to see TheUziGunner, they're going to be seeing something that is pretty much the whole damn package. Know what I mean?
Awesome, man. I'm excited to see what you guys do together. So let's get to know a little bit of your backstory and why you chose to pick the GBA.
Yeah, so once again, I feel like my history with this with the GBA is something that is very, very unique, because and honestly, it's a very integral part of me being where I am right now as far as a creator goes, because keep in mind that when I said that I'm the only Bangladeshi Pokemon YouTuber, and if that is not the case, then I sure as hell am the only Bangladeshi Draft League content creator. It's something that's pretty much unheard of in my country because of how the culture is and whatnot. But during those early years, I was always a huge fan of what Draft League was doing, because before all of this, I used to be a fan of. I mean, I still am a fan of that guy, but yeah, I used to watch a lot of Shady Penguin back then. I really liked his content, and then he basically introduced me to the GBA, which made me really like the concept. But then that appreciation got even more solidified when I watched Mega Mogwai. Shout out to one of the goats.
We love Mogwai. He's so sick, man. He was so amazing.
Right? The infectious charisma, just knowing how to, create compelling content, not just in terms of being a competent battler, but also backing it up with poise, charisma, entertainment, and especially having background music that suits each and every single one of these situations. It's something that I feel like, even today, a lot of Draft League content creators don't necessarily do. And this isn't a slight by any means. People go at things their own ways, but it's an art that I always had a deep level of appreciation for. But his entire presentation towards the whole thing, along with his association with the GBA, pretty much triggered the desire to ultimately the action that I took in, pulling the trigger and starting to create content. Because as far as starting this whole journey in 2015 goes, a lot of this would have never happened if, I didn't have that one person to, inspire me to pull this trigger. And honestly speaking, this whole process in itself is a very, very elaborate story. So I'm gonna try to keep this as short as possible. But I basically had a lot of, people a lot of well-wishers who, helped me to transition into this role as a creator when they had no reason to. Like, in particular, I cannot say, I cannot talk about this thing without mentioning Old Man Top, who is 100%, man, genuinely like one of the most kindest souls you could ever find in this world. Like, I will never forget the amount of kindness and love that he's shown me during a time when he had no reason to during the time when we were strangers. Like, he would talk on Twitter about how he wished he had someone who, do mock games with. And I, being, a new account and whatnot, I ended up stepping up and being like, hey man, if you want, I can do this for you. And then this collaboration started off as, created this friendship. And ultimately, he has been with me through every single step of the way to when I started finally creating content. And then he actually was the one who gave me, the green signal towards my first analyst gig in the GBA. So I used to do the free agency and trade transactions, and it was like, looking back at it now, like it's a bit embarrassing.
You came a long way, man.
yeah, exactly. You know what? Yeah, I came a long way since then. But yeah, I don't think I was ready for that role during then, from a maturity as well as a content creating standpoint. But it's still like it's through these sort of initiatives that ultimately created this journey that I ended up being on. All of this essentially built towards me becoming who I am right now, because with every single one of these setbacks, I got better as a content creator. I got better as a video editor. I got better as a creator all around. When I heard that the 10th anniversary of the GBA was going on, and the people that were gonna be in charge of it, I feel like, from a personal standpoint, it would not be right for me to end things on a bitter note. So I reached out to Jolt and the other people in charge of the GBA. We had a conversation, and before we know it, we eventually came to an agreement that I have earned my right here. And now that I'm in this position, with this entire journey that spanned across 8 years, it's time for me to finally, make things a reality. Draft format was created so that people can, watch compelling content as far as Pokemon battling goes. And I feel like with all these experiences that I've had, I am now, what you're looking at right now is basically the best version of TheUziGunner, not just as a as a competitor, but also as a creator. So based on that, I feel like in the 10th anniversary of the GBA, after all these 8 years, it is very poetic for your boy to finally be in, and I cannot wait to finally make some noise.
Let's go, dude. That's awesome. I'm excited to hear the stories coming out, and I'm excited to see what kinds of things you guys come up with, the team that you guys solidify on. That's gonna be super exciting to see, man.
Hell yeah.
I gotta ask, who are you most excited to play this season? Like, who do you consider maybe even being like your rival?
So the guy who I 100% am looking forward to facing the most is George, aka SceptileMC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm coming for the big dog, all right?
Oh.
The last ever GBA champion and all that kind of stuff. But it also goes far beyond this, because a lot of people don't know this, but George and I like have always been people that, you know, always spoke to each other even during the early days of the GBA. I always had a good relationship with him, and at one point we were actually going to compete in the same season of of the league that's now dead, but it's the NPL minors.
I mean, hey, you get a lot of leagues have happened. They you know, that sometimes you find people in the most random of places. Sometimes you find people in the biggest of places, and yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, you already know. And George was actually supposed to compete in the NPL minors with me, and I was actually supposed to face him on the 3rd week. But unfortunately, that never really became a thing because, you know, due to his real life situation at that time, and just being, you know, like his own personal context, which is completely understandable because, you know, we do this out of having fun and whatnot. He unfortunately could not compete at that. Like, he unfortunately couldn't compete, and I never really got to have that match with him. But now, after all these years, now that the GBA is back, and now that George is back, I think once again it would be very fitting to finally have that encounter against him. And I'm honestly very much looking forward to, you know, facing him, not just as a, you know, like as a competitor, but also seeing what it can do for me as a content creator.
You guys are about to have the sickest of clashes, my man. That's gonna be super exciting to see that matchup.
Hell yeah.
All right, so now that we are getting down to the 10th anniversary, what has been your favorite moment in Draft League history? Since this is the 10-year anniversary, this is where Draft League started. We're going back. We're going back to whatever kinds of leagues you've been in the past. What is your favorite moment in your history of Draft League?
Ah, man. So this is that's actually really a really tough question based on, you know, everything that's happened before, because, you know, like I've always stayed rooted in Draft League from 2015 all the way to 2021, I think. But I mean, as far as the GBA goes, there's so many moments that I can think of. There's obviously, you know, like gym leader Gio with the Caliente sweep. That he got with his, you know, like weakness policy, and I really like that stuff. And then obviously, you know, there's Cooper Koshiro with his, you know, head smash sweep with his Aggron with rock polish. I really like that. And then obviously, you know, like a lot of stuff involving Mega Mogwai, specifically, you know, how he, you know, won the GBA championship despite being in the back foot throughout the entirety of the game, but coming through when it was all said and done. Like, there's honestly so much that has happened in this time frame that I feel like is a huge highlight as far as the GBA goes. And as far as for me personally, I'm so grateful to be in this position right now where I have all these fond memories to look back at. Where, I mean, for one, I brought, you know, like, to anybody that doesn't know, I drafted Pikachu round 1 in one of the draft leagues.
No shot. What?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
No way.
And guess what? I won the damn league.
Dude, that's a flex, man. Like,
you already know.
I one of my leagues, I got Mega, Metagross, Clefable, and Salamence all on the same team, and bro, I was not even that good. Like, I didn't do that well, man. It all comes down to skill and how you formulate, and that really goes to show how amazing you are as a player, man. Getting Pikachu first round and still winning the whole entire league, that's insane, dude.
I think the fondest memory that I have with Draft League is, you know, when I finally got my first ever big shot in the WBE, thanks to, you know, like, Dan, aka Drive, shoutouts to my brother, seeing my worth, and taking a team that was 0-5 with -20 differential and going 7-1 with that, and turning that -20 into a +10. So yeah, like, I feel like a lot of things have happened that I very much look fondly back at, and I'm excited to see what I can do for this very league.
That's awesome, man. And I think that was a really cool defining factor whenever you took that team that was 0-5 to, like, you know, what was it, like 7-6, like, insane.
Yeah,
I remember that. I remember that season as well. That was amazing. That was really awesome.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
All right, I got one final question for you, and it's actually just a very general question.
Right.
What is one thing you wish you knew 10 years ago?
Oh, man.
Like, if you can go back to yourself 10 years ago, back in 2013, and you could tell them one thing, and they would, like, either make you go crazy, it would change everything. Maybe something just totally random. You'd be like, huh? Like, what would it be?
Right. So, I feel like that's a very loaded question.
Yeah.
It's so,
whenever I saw the question they gave me to ask you, I'm like, huh, what would I do? I'm curious. What would you do? It doesn't have to be draft league, but like I guess it could be draft league.
Right. Yeah. No, actually, no. I mean, I have no problem like giving an honest answer to that. If there's one thing that I could have changed, like looking back, or something that I could have told myself, so like your question has two level of elements, like two kinds of elements.
Oh, he's breaking it down. He's breaking it down. Let's see.
I'm breaking it down. You see, they don't call me a GBA analyst for no reason, okay? Yeah. But yeah, if there's something like I feel like if there's one thing that was very important for me to figure out is, and this may like these two answers that I'm gonna give you are gonna be super cheesy, but they come from the heart. Most importantly, like the most important thing you gotta remember is, and this is something I would say to my old self, is that you can't fake authenticity. Like during that time in my life, based on my circumstance back then and whatnot, I always felt at that time that I had to be something else to fit in, or try to be something else to be accepted and all those things. But that's honestly a bunch of bullshit, and ultimately it really ended up holding me back down, because I tried to be something that I was not, and that in the end ended up costing me. But it's because I figured that out later on that I was able to, become this version of myself that is very unapologetic towards who I am, and I'm proud of it. So I definitely think, the most important thing that, and this doesn't just extend to me, but with any person out there that's in this position where they feel like they gotta be something else to be accepted and all those things, is that don't try that. It's never gonna work out, and in the end you'll never be satisfied. You gotta learn to accept who you are, and you gotta learn to love who you are. And it's through you loving who you are that you will eventually be able to work more on yourself. And it's through this that a chain reaction is gonna be able to be created from it, where the people around you, the people that accept and love you for who you are, they will be there for you. Because at the end of the day, if someone is really your friend, they're not gonna love you because of the position you have, or or any sort of superficial things. They love you because you're you, and that's all that matters. And as far as the element goes, where if there's something that I could change all these years back, I wouldn't change a damn thing, honestly. Because while I would say that it took me a considerably long time to get to this position that I'm at now, I'm better off because of it. The knowledge that I have as a content creator, the knowledge that I have in terms of video editing, and being able to create all these passion projects, because it all comes from here. And, this self-improvement and all of that, none of this would have happened if, I just got it then and there. And it's because I made all these mistakes that I learned. And it's because I learned that I gained perspective and I got better. So if there's anything I could change, it wouldn't be a damn thing at all.
Yeah, man, listen, you're you. Everybody's born to be different, to be unique, and why try to be like anybody else whenever you could just be you? And why would anybody like you if you were just like somebody else, right? Like, there's no reason there. That's boring. So, good answer, man. I definitely agree with that, and I 100% can see that you become such a, more passionate person. You become more, just legitimate because of that. So good on you, man.
Thank you,
and super excited to see what the Bullet Punch Club can do for this season of the GBA. Thank you so much, Uzi, for joining me on this interview. It's been a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, man. It's been an absolute pleasure through and through. It finally feels good to have an interview after so long. And with that being said, I'm very excited to finally being able to give back to draft format and create something special, hopefully.
Well, we're going to definitely see that throughout the season. Either way, thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.